It's funky, it's fun, it's Nissan's all-new Kicks, and it should be in India sometime early next year. Yes, I know this car isn't exactly what we'll get. We'll get a longer wheelbase, a better interior, different engines, but we're here in scorching hot Dubai in the desert just to give you a preview, to tell you what you can expect. Now it's obviously very hot here at 48 degrees, and the instant heat soak feels like I've lowered myself into a warm bath, but I just can't resist a quick look at the car. Now in India, we like our SUVs to be traditional. That means stand up and upright, and that's exactly what the Kicks is here. It's got this nice tall glass house. It looks like an SUV, but it also has a lot of modern design clues like these pop-out wheel arches, the tip-forward stance, this floating roof here. So all in all, a lovely combination of modern and traditional. Just what we want. Must say, Nissan has done a good job. What Nissan has also executed nicely is the cabin. And importantly, the driving position gives you a good view of the road. So a nice uprightish driving position. It's not as low as something like an S-Cross, and it isn't as high as something like a Duster, but it's a nice in-between. Now, unfortunately, the dash we have here is a base model car. This is a base model car, but there are nice touches here still. This metallic highlight that runs around even on the aircon controls. Of course, we in India will get a big touchscreen here with this frame and climate control. And the other thing I like about this dash is the way they've split it up in two with this nice metallic finish that runs all the way through. Flat bottom steering works well for me. Again, nice metallic highlights on the dials. All in all, a pretty attractive dash. And what we are likely to get in India is a leather wrap with attractive double stitching. I also like the shimmering fish-like texture on the dash. But in India, we could also get a double-stitched leather cover. The center console for the car in India will come with an 8-inch touchscreen with Apple Play and Android Auto. And there'll be a climate control system as well. On later versions, we'll also get a TFT screen in place of the tachometer. And since Nissan has decided to throw everything at it but the kitchen sink, we'll also get attractive brown interiors similar to those on its luxury brand Infiniti. What I also particularly like are the seats. The front seats offer superb lateral support, the cushioning is spot on, and even the seats at the rear are nicely executed. So the seat height is pretty good. It's because of that upright seating position. The seat is a good way off the floor. A nice amount of legroom here. Even though in the Indian car we'll get much more, it's going to be 180 or 200 mm more. That's around that much more legroom. So it should be an extremely comfortable back seat to sit in, especially as there's already a good amount of headroom. Visibility is good. All in all, a good back seat package. The seat itself, however, is placed slightly lower than the one on its natural rival, the Hyundai Creta. Those of you who enjoy traveling with a lot of luggage will also appreciate the boot space. There's a useful 432 litres under the parcel tray, and because the seats split, you can even carry more luggage or bulky cargo should the need arise. But what's it like to drive? And importantly, does it ride like a hatchback or an SUV? The perfectly manicured roads soon give way to sections that have plenty of gravel and broken surfaces. And it's here that the Kicks disappoints a bit. So the Nissan Kicks as of now is built on their V platform. That's the one that underpins the Micra and the Sunny. And for an SUV, it feels a bit brittle and a bit fragile. But the good news is, the car that will come to India will get a more robust platform. It will get a tougher platform, and that's great news, especially considering what our roads are. The car for India will have a floor pan and suspension similar to that of Nissan's radical compact SUV, the Juke. Also known as the M0, the car maker says this much evolved platform is a lot more robust and better suited to Indian roads. Now the Kicks is very car-like to drive. It has a light steering, it turns into corners easily, it's happy to dart in and out of traffic, but get onto a high-speed corner, turn in, and there is a lot of body roll. There's a bit of sloppiness, and that's because the car's been raised. This version of the Kicks also seems disinterested when you show it a corner, and even driving it in a mildly spirited manner brings no real dividends. Here's hoping the new floor pan and the upgraded suspension and steering system make it much more pleasant to drive. What the Kicks does get is Nissan's lovely Xtronic CVT. Now, at low and medium speeds, this just feels very natural. Put your foot down and the car moves instantly. There is a nice surge of torque, and you do enjoy driving it at these speeds. However, put your foot down and you do feel that rubber band effect. You do feel the engine revving unnecessarily, and it does take a while for speed to build. What Nissan seemed to have paid particular attention to is the responsiveness of this 1.6 engine. So keeping up with Dubai traffic feels almost effortless, and the Kicks continues to impress on the faster intra-city roads. It isn't the most responsive of engines, but it does have a nice slug of torque in the mid-range. And then, like many Japanese engines, it likes to rev. So eventually, you do pick up speed quite well. In fact, this larger 1.6 petrol is so much better than the 100 horsepower 1.5 we have in India, Nissan should seriously consider making the upgrade. And that's despite the slight tax penalty. The Kicks for India holds a lot of promise. Yes, in its current shape and form, it isn't well suited to our conditions. But if Nissan delivers on its promise and gives us a punchy diesel engine, more space on the inside, plenty of delight features, and of course an aggressive price, it certainly has the potential to take on the current king of the segment, the Hyundai Creta.